I am Bill McLaughlin, Editor-in-Chief of Furniture Today. I'm here with Mike Rittler of TD Retail Card Services. Mike, thanks for joining us today.
That's a pleasure, Bill. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you. Mike, the COVID-19 pandemic has had a lot of impacts on a lot of different industries. What are you seeing in terms of its effect on consumer borrowing?
Yeah, it's really interesting what we're seeing. Borrowing has always been a catalyst to the economy. It's always been something that can enable people to acquire goods and services that they need and they want. And what we're finding now is in these challenging times, it's even more important than ever. We're really working hard with our partners to develop plans that meet the customer's needs. What we're finding is that what's meeting their needs best right now is flexibility in financing. So, some folks are really looking for longer term plans that bring the minimum payments down. And so we're looking at what are the right plans to be able to offer in that range. Also, some customers are really still looking at the deferred interest plans where the minimum monthly payments are low with a balloon payment to avoid the interest on the back end. And in some cases that works well. But what we're finding is that now more than ever, the flexible financing, the plans that will meet the customer's need are really what drive behavior.
What are you seeing? I know you spend a lot of time studying consumer behavior, surveying and really having an understanding of your retail customers. What impact have you seen on the early physical store shutdowns on consumer behavior and on the stay-at-home orders on consumer behavior?
One thing that became very apparent early, being multi-channel in the way you sell your products is really important. So it's not good enough just to have, the equivalent of a catalog online. You really need to have tools that allow people to engage, in the way that they can engage, when they can engage. And so the best online presence, the best experience from an online presence, you saw those companies continue to win even as the shutdowns were happening, as they were able to effectively transfer their customers from the in-store experience to the online experience. And what you saw some folks actually playing catch up in that space where they maybe hadn't paid as much attention to their online space as some others had. And so that, during the pandemic, the early stages, just playing catch up and trying to get there. The other thing we're seeing is that the people that are actually looking, whether online or now as stores are opening back up, as people are engaging in the stores, if they're out looking, they're buying. There's a lot of buyers in the market, and there was a little bit of pent up demand after the shutdowns ended, for the folks that weren't comfortable buying certain things online.
So from the standpoint of retailers, what are some of the key considerations for retailers trying to operate in the current environment?
What's first and foremost on everybody's mind is just staying safe. So really developing the way that you can flow customers through your store and engage people in your products in a way that makes them feel safe to be in your store is really important. And what that means in some cases is, again, given that seamless experience from online to in-store. So that a lot of people this was an emerging trend even before COVID. A lot of the, pre-work of shopping is happening online. A lot of people are going and engaging with the online space first to really understand and have, a couple of ideas of what they really want before they get to the store and have a feeling for the price. It's an important point there too, from a credit perspective, if we can offer credit somewhere during that cycle and have people not only know what they want, but know what kind of credit they might have available, it's a powerful tool to help drive behavior. But once they get in the stores, once they actually get there, again, feeling safe, being able to engage, I think there's always value in being able to look and feel and touch, especially in the furniture industry, right? To be able to actually sit on a piece of furniture and experience it. I don't think that'll ever go away. So how do we do it in a way that people feel really comfortable still doing and feel safe?
How can retailers leverage their data to really optimize their opportunity?
Yeah, it's going to be more and more powerful, Bill, especially as people are creating home workspaces and knowing how a customer engages with your product is going to be super important. As you see people that maybe go and buy a desk, what other needs might they have regarding setting up a home office, right? maybe a computer stand, maybe something that ergonomically supports, their posture better or something like that. The mobile desks where you can stand up, sit down to give you that. Knowing what people are in the market for, and then being able to make recommendations and suggestions to drive them back to kind of make that next purchase to finish things out. Equally powerful, like I said, a lot of people just spent a lot of time at home and realized what they were tired of. And so there'll be a lot of opportunity there to cross-market the products as people come in and maybe they replace, a living room couch and maybe a chair, and maybe there's opportunity there for accessories, some painting, some lamps, some end tables, coffee tables, those types of things. Everybody likes to feel special. And when you can actually talk to your customer like them, it makes all the difference in the world, right? It makes you part of their network, if you will. You're helping their life get better. And so the more you know about your customer and the more you can actually make the recommendations and suggestions that will help them feel comfortable and make you feel like a trusted ally, that's going to just fuel your business. And again, I'm in the business of credit, so we need to do that as seamlessly as everything else in the experience to make the credit make everything possible for the customer and for the retailer.
Mike, as we look at some of the challenges that the economy has had and some of the effects that the government programs have had, the stimulus has had on consumer purchase patterns, what are you seeing from your perspective on how those situations are evolving?
Being in the credit industry, it's really interesting because we look at this a lot, as you can imagine. And it's really, in a lot of ways, I like to say it's a tale of two people right now. There are folks that the stimulus payments and the extra unemployment, they've been a lifeline, right? Some of the folks have used that just to stay afloat. And it's exactly why the government stepped in and provided the resources in that way. It's allowed people to stay current with their bill payments, to keep food on their table and those types of things, and was really important. There's another group of people that it was a bit of extra, if you will, and we've seen in some cases that for some folks that extra money has fueled some purchasing behavior, and again that helps too because it turns the pump of the economy, right? So some of that money has been deployed back into the economy through spending. What we've seen in particular, in addition to furniture, we have some other partners, and we've seen some interesting trends with some of our online retailers and some of the sales they've been able to do through COVID. We have one of our partners is a home exercise equipment company, and they're doing phenomenally well. And as people think about, well, what do I need to be able to actually do the things I want to do and need to do from my home base? Again, very applicable to furniture as you think about setting up home offices and everything else. So really the payments, the stimulus, the extra unemployment, it's benefited in both ways. It's helped some people stay current, stay above board. It's helped some people get some things maybe that they want it and need it. And the question now is what happens next, right? And because without that, then that first group of people, it may be a little difficult to continue on as this pandemic continues, longer than any of us would have thought.
What's the impact from a financing standpoint in driving that recovery?
I think it's, as I said earlier, it's really important to have programs right now that really help people see what's possible. Help me visualize. Maybe I don't have $3,000 right now to go out and get the dining set or get the living room set or whatever. But if I can break that down to under $100 a month, I might be able to see my way through to that, and be able to get that piece of furniture or whatever. Again, that part of the recovery is really important. As we all know, consumer spending is a big driver of the economy in the United States. And so anything that can help, increase consumer spending, accelerate consumer spending, just even bring it back up to par from where we were is going to be really important. Credit plays a really important role there because again, it brings the what's possible into view. One of the other things that we're looking at is even just how can we, as a revolving credit company, do some things that are a little different in other areas of lending, like what you might see in the auto lending, where they'll do, no payments for the first 3 months or something like that. Now, we can't quite do that, but what can we do that might feel like that? So can we have a gift card promotion maybe where the gift card covers, the first payment or 2 payments or something like that, that'll help fuel, again, the belief that I can actually do this. I can go out and get this piece of furniture. I can get this accessory or whatever I need. So really, again, length, duration, and then, what kind of promotions can we put together with our partners, with our retailers?
You kind of anticipated my next question. Are there any other new products that TD's working on to kind of help retailers in this economy?
Yeah, absolutely. I mentioned our fitness equipment provider earlier. We've actually launched an installment loan product with them, installment loan at the point of sale, which is great. We'll be talking about that with some of our partners, partners in the furniture space where it makes sense. I really do think a revolving product is the best product in the furniture space because it can drive loyalty and it can drive repeat behavior. And those type of purchases really lend to that versus more of the one and done, which an installment loan is really good for. But there may be some applicability for installment loans in the furniture space. So we've, as I said, recently launched that with one of our other partners. We like that. And again, we like to have that in our arsenal of products, if you will. The other, as I said, how can we creatively mimic some of the other types of lending tools that people are used to, like in the auto space where they may not have to make a payment for a couple of months up front. Some installment loans provide that as well, not having to make the initial payments and so forth. So we're working on those. And then, the most important thing is our retailers, they know their customers the best, right? So as we work with them, and we work very closely with each of them, what are the products that are really, the lending products that will really help drive the behavior you're looking for out of your customer base? So whether that's, promotions, whether it's tied to promotions that maybe the retailer's doing, how do we jointly come together to put a package together that makes sense on all ends, right? Product, promotion, and the package that we're offering.
Sounds like you're having to adapt just as quickly as the rest of the world during this pandemic.
Well, there's no question about that. I probably about 6 months ago, I think we sat down and we talked at the Vegas market, and I was looking forward to us doing that again. But as you said, here we are doing a bit of a virtual this time instead of sitting side by side. And it's just one of the small accommodations we have to make right now. But it's opportunity. Every crisis leads to opportunity, right? And I think if you can lean into the crisis and you can really work together, I think you can do something really special, for your retail partners as well as for the customers. That's why we're here. That's what we're about, right? I think, it's in times like this that you really figure out, the folks you want to be in business with. And we're hopeful that, as we work with a bunch of people, we're hopeful we're the partner of choice in that way.
Well, Mike, thanks for taking the time today. I really appreciate it. Hopefully it won't be too long before we can do this side by side in a market venue again.
Yeah, Bill, I appreciate that. I do miss being out and about, but as you said, it's been interesting times. I appreciate the opportunity to do this today. So thank you very much.
Thank you, and we'll talk to you soon.